Hello, it's Sandra, and I wanted to give you a quick overview of how to start using and customizing the time blocking template to work for your scheduling. First up is the Hello sheet, and this will give you a quick overview of how to use it as well. But I'm going to go a little deeper here because I really want you to be able to use this for your business. So there's the goals template. This is what you would use to map out your goal themes. Give a short description of what those themes are, what your primary goals are for the month. And then in here, you want to just start doing a brain dump of anything involved with making those happen. You can get very specific here. You can keep it a little bit more high level, whatever way you want to go, because we're going to take it and start breaking it down a lot more when we get into the list template. I do like to try to get specific here, and then you'll find that you're even going to get more specific as you start really thinking about what it's going to take for each step of achieving whatever your goal theme is. And then from here is the list template. This is just like your to-do list that you would scratch down on a piece of paper, but we're going to keep it here and just keep adding things as you think of them to this list. So you're going to take items from your brain dump here, and then you're just going to keep brainstorming the tasks involved here. Throw everything down that you can think of. And here's where you start getting super specific about how much time each one of those tasks is going to take. Now at this stage of the game, I don't worry too much about if my list is running way too long, because it's going to be probably more than what you can really do, right? But the important part here is that you're getting everything down and you're getting kind of microscopic with what it takes to achieve your goals for that month. The other thing that you want to make sure that you do is include everything on here. So anything personal that you want to do, meals that you have to take care of, your family time, your work time, commute time, whatever it is, make sure it's all on here, because those are the things that we tend to forget about, and those are the things that can really make you feel kind of defeated because you didn't think about it, and so you thought you could get more done than you could. Here is where you throw all of those on there. I'm going to show you what it looks like when these are filled out. But first, I just want to show you the calendar template. This is your weekly calendar template. This is what you're going to be working from every week. And this is where those things that you're listing here, that brain dump that you're doing, is starting to make its way over onto your weekly calendar. Now remember, the goals template here that we have, this brain dump that we're doing, is based on your monthly goals. So your list is going to be much bigger than what you're going to be actually putting onto your calendar template each week, because you're breaking this down week by week. So keep that in mind. Don't let that stress you when all of these things from your list template don't fit onto your calendar. This is what I love about this calendar template, because you really see how much time you have each week. So it gives you a really realistic view of what you're going to be able to do, so that you can feel good about what you're accomplishing instead of feeling like you have this enormous list that keeps growing and growing. The reality is we're always going to have lists. There's always going to be things to do. So, don't worry about that. Just focus on what makes its way over into this calendar. So let me just show you quickly what each of these might look like when you fill them out. Here's a sample of the goals, and you'll see that there are 3 different goal themes. I've listed them here. One is create a paid course, one is create a free course, one is blog consistently. Yours might look completely different from this depending on your business and what you want to achieve. Here is where you would enter more detailed description of what it is. So what is this specific paid course, what is the free course, and what is the number of posts that you want to do in this case. And then in this area below, this is where you do your brain dump. So you start to list out all of the things that you think it's going to take to get that done. And you can just keep adding to this list. Don't worry if it's too short, too long, whatever, just anything that you can think of. The goal here is to start breaking down the bigger goal theme into smaller goals that you can achieve, and smaller goals that you can actually put onto your calendar. Because you're not going to, in one sitting, create a paid course, right? There's a series of steps you're going to go through. So wherever you're at, you want to start itemizing what you think those steps might be. Now, one thing just in terms of using this is when you want to create a new line, you have to hold down Command Option Return. I'm on a Mac, so on a PC that's going to be a little bit different. Maybe it's Control Option Return, but that's how you get a new line. Now the list is going to look something like this. If you're wondering what all of these numbers and parentheses are, that number represents how many times throughout the week, you're going to be doing it. Really great way to keep track of those recurring things that you do. Things like eating, meals, working out, any task that you have that you think is going to take longer than a day. You want to break it out into maybe over a couple days. Let's say that you're writing an ebook and it's going to take you 3 days to get it done, 3 solid days. That's 24 hours. Well, you can break that down into 4 time slots throughout the week of 6 hours apiece. And you would want to then, if you're doing that, you would want to then go in here and just say 4 times. So that way you know that, let's say it's an hour and a half, right? That you're going to be putting that onto your calendar 4 times for an hour and a half each time. Okay, so that's kind of how this works. And then what you also want to keep in mind is that everything that you need to do should be going on here. I think I already mentioned that, but those are the things that slip through the cracks. So make sure you kind of think of your week coming up. Anything you know you're going to have to do, make sure you put it on here so that you can then take it and put it onto your calendar. So this is what your calendar might look like as you start filling it out. Now you probably noticed that this looks much different than this one here, the blank one, because all of these are individual cells. And all I've really done is to take cells according to how much time it's going to take. So this is going to take me 5 hours. What I've done is I've just simply merged the cell. So up under here, you can say format, merge cells, and then merge them. Okay, and that's how you get these different time blocks happening. Now you'll notice up here that I have breakfast every day of the week, so that's where it comes off of the list, where breakfast 5 times a week. Here I say a half an hour. I guess I decided that it takes me a little bit longer, so now I turn that into an hour. But this is the kind of thing that you want to do. Make sure that they're all here. I like to color code similar tasks, so all of my meals and things like that, things that aren't necessarily work related, get one color. I like to highlight working out a little bit different colors so I can really see it at a glance. So you can do things like that. You can color code your tasks so they really jump out at you. And as you start filling this up, you'll start to get a feel for what is really doable in that week. And the other thing is that you start to plan recurring tasks or certain things at the same time every day. It helps you get into a routine with them. So for instance, if you have any client meetings or phone calls that you need to deal with, then you might want to always schedule them around the same time so that you can just mentally know that that's what you're doing between a certain time frame every day. It kind of helps you become consistent with what you're doing. Okay, so now for some specifics about how to start using the actual template. You can just enter something that you need to do, like I'm going to say write blog post on SEO. I think this is going to take me 2 days and I'm going to work on it for 3 hours a day. That's pretty straightforward, right? You would just enter anything that you feel like you need to do. Look for those things that you do all the time, like here I'd say breakfast. I do that 5 times a week, and that takes me, I don't know, let's say an hour. You keep going on and on. Think of anything new that's popped up, even if you have a play date that you have to do with Sally. You're going to do that once, and that's going to take 3.5 hours. So anything personal, too, you want to add on here because it's all time and it all adds up. Then you come over here into your calendar template, and you would just start adding in here, like let's say eat breakfast. And I'm going to take this, and now because I said it's going to take an hour, I'm going to merge these 2 cells, and then I'm going to start color coding this right now because I know it's a regular thing. So I'm just going to use that color. And you can customize these to fit your brand, which I kind of like to do. I like to stay on brand. It just makes me feel kind of consistent and cohesive. Totally up to you, but you can customize your colors. You can add a hex color, and you can, select any color that you like here if you don't already see it in here. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to select all of this, and I'm just going to paste it. So that it makes it really easy to do this. You can select multiple columns or rows and copy the same information into each one at the same time. Then I might, take some more items from that to-do list. Let's say I'm going to write the blog post. It's 3 hours. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'll say from 7 to 10. I'm going to merge that cell as well. And I'm going to say And that's it. And if I think I'm going to do that Monday and Tuesday, I can do that here. Or I can say, then I have a client project that I need to work on through 1 o'clock. I can merge that. Say I'm going to eat lunch here. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon back on that blog post for the second part of my clip here. So even when you're breaking up time, it doesn't have to be on a separate day. It's just really your chunks of time that you're planning and organizing. And then if you wanted to color code these, you certainly could, so that they really jump out at you and you can see them quickly. Again, I like to color code those things I'm doing every single day too, so that I can copy this and I can just paste this right there. And it kind of forces you into your routine and knowing that at the same time you're eating lunch, that you're going to plan for it, you're not going to let things interrupt it, and so that you know that you have this chunk of time to do some deep work here. So that's basically the way that you start using it. If you want to change the color of fonts, you would just, come here. You can change the font to any color. You can change these to be whatever time increment that you like here. You can unmerge cells as quickly as you merge them just by doing that. If you happen to notice that your text is running over, it's bleeding into another column, then you can come up under Format, Text Wrapping, and make sure that it's set for wrap. To change the color of a cell to white, all you need to do is come up to the paint bucket and select this right here, and you can get it back to white. And if you want to change the border color for any reason, then you can come up under here, grab the pencil icon, select the color that you want, and then just start drawing your border. So that should give you an idea of how you can start customizing and using this template to create your own schedule.